Hello and welcome to Education 1196, Education, Schooling, and the Individual in American Society. A very long title, but a very important one as well. I'm sorry about yesterday's mix-up. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but like I said, I don't think it's going to keep us from having a very successful and educational experience with each other via online. So before I sort of get started with the syllabus, I want to make sure that you actually have it in front of you so that you can look at the sections that I'm referring to. Also, we will be meeting next week, Monday, at the ECC lab, which is located on the third floor, room 310. We're going to be in lab A, which is that front room right on your left. So in looking at the course description, which is just on that first page, what you're going to see is just sort of a brief description of the course. It is an online course. It is writing intensive, which ultimately means that it's also reading intensive as well. So we're going to talk a little bit about the readings in a moment, but I just wanted to sort of let you know that the reading load is sort of significant, but it's not impossible. And I'm also not expecting you to do a close read of everything. But like I said, we'll talk about that in a moment. There are 5 questions that sort of guide this course and guide the learning objectives of this course. And they're right there, again, on that first page. These questions are really about positioning school as an institution. So the very first question is sort of having you as students challenge some of the taken for granted assumptions that we might have about school. Oftentimes we sort of develop an analysis of school, typical school or good school or bad school, based on our own schooling experience. And so this class is really trying to sort of situate your experience within a larger history of what school has been historically. Because school has meant, the purpose of school has meant different things at different times for different people. And so this first question is really sort of getting at how this course is really sort of about the history of school as it's tied and as it's connected to the history of this country. So hopefully we have some history buffs in the crowd. If not, that's okay too. But much of the reading that you will be reading will be history, at least for the first 4 weeks. The second question is very much related to the first, in that you are sort of thinking about how modern school has developed over time, and connected to the third one as well, thinking about how, again, the relationship of the history of school has a deep relationship with the history of this country, both politically, bureaucratically, and in other ways as well. The last 2 questions are questions that we will deal with more towards the latter part of the course, although they also sort of emerge in the beginning as well in more subtle ways. And so the last 2 questions, which sort of are dealing with the critical issues in education around race, class, gender, and sexuality, as well as that last one, which is sort of about identity politics and identity formation, are really about the individual. These 2 questions really embody John Dewey's notion that school is a reflection of society. And we'll read John Dewey, so we'll sort of go over exactly what that concept means. But when school reflects society, then we have to also sort of examine what are the issues within society that sort of are integral to American society, particularly for an individual in American society. And so the last 2 questions build off this idea that identity is always at work, in school and out of school. So moving along on that first page, you'll see that we do have required text. All of the texts are available on Blackboard. So you're really going to want to decide whether you want to print all the documents, all the chapters or articles, or whether you're going to want to read them from your computer screen. I think that sort of depends on your own reading style, but then also how much dollars you're willing to spend, or how much paper you're sort of willing to spend. But again, you're going to have to make that decision on your own. But again, all of the documents are available on Blackboard under course documents. Okay. So very important, sort of onto the second page, which I'm not sure we can read it per se. Course requirements. Discussion board participation. Discussion board is going to be the space in which we do almost all of our conversation. And it's a really important space because of how, in many ways, it will mimic what this class has been, or how this class has been handled traditionally. Okay? So actually what might be helpful for you is if you were to go now onto the discussion board section on Blackboard. Again, discussion board can be found if you go to your left. It should actually, the link should actually be right there. Just click on the discussion board, and what you're going to see once you click that link is that there's 3 different forums. Okay, the first forum is the free write, and the free write is going to be the forum that we will use for the first half hour of the course. Let me sort of rewind this a little bit. We will have, we will meet Mondays and Wednesdays as our online session. Our online session will take place during normal class time hours, which is from 9 to 10:30. And so the free write section of discussion board is going to be the section in which we will have a discussion from 9 o'clock until 9:30. What you will find when you log on at 8:59 or 9:01, you will find that there will already be a thread. A thread is a comment or a post that either myself will put on there or one of your classmates. You will find a post by myself, which will be a prompt. The prompt will be either a link to a video clip, or the prompt will be a question. Your task within the first 5 minutes of that first half-hour interval is to respond to the prompt. And how you respond is basically by sort of writing exactly what comes to mind. The free write is a stream of consciousness. You can go in 100 different directions. The idea is to get your mind moving and to get your mind sort of warmed up for the other sessions that we will have for the remainder of our time together. So for example, on Wednesday, you will find a thread that will say, what is your purpose? Now mind you, that prompt seems sort of unconnected to the reading, but there is a connection, and we'll sort of make that in the next half-hour interview. After the first 5 minutes, you will then post your free write. You should have been writing for those sort of 5 minutes straight, and then you will sort of submit it. You will then proceed on responding to other people's posts. This will take place again between 9 and 9:30. We will end conversation by 9:30. I will also be in this forum, making connections between what people are sort of saying in their, in their posts. At 9:30, we will be going on to sort of go back to above the section where you would have clicked in